All right, Cyber, would you say something about old school?
Fuck you, Steve from Bumble. Fuck you.
Now that's what I have to say. No, no, I was saying, yeah, I'm old school when it comes to that, but I was gonna get to the point like you could say it either way you like, but I was trying to be a little more classy about it there for a second. I could have just been crude, but I thought I'd give a little class once in a while.
I'm really raw, Cyber. I'm really raw.
I know you are.
Know, I try to be nice with the ladies. You know, I do, but you know, I'm a very raw guy, and you know, I swallowed the red pill at a very early age. So there you go, folks. The red pill got me real young. So Andres, the pop culture guy, what's up? You're not talking very much tonight, sir. It is Friday, 11/1/2024, sir.
Excuse me. I had a great Halloween. It was like the party of 1999, so I'm very exhausted today.
Oh, you had a Halloween outing?
Yeah, it was fun. So hello everyone. No worry, folks. I'm gonna drop the F-bombs on Jeff, and whenever know anything he does or say, I will do that for you guys.
So what did you go as Willow? Little person? A dwarf? A midget?
You're so funny. You're so funny. No, you fucker. You motherfucker.
Warwick Davis wants a season 2. He wants a season 2.
No, I dressed up as a clown. A neon clown. A serial killer clown. So I hope you guys enjoy that.
Cyber, if I told you that there was going to be a second season of Willow coming out, would that be the first show where you would be like, we're not doing that? Like, I don't want to do that?
Hell yeah.
If it was exactly the same as the first season, hell yes, I would say hell no. But if they changed it and bring it back to the original formula of the film, I'd be down to try it.
Okay. But it would be a hard no, though, overall, like, from jump. There a lot of moving pieces would have to occur for it to be a doable thing. I don't know about Skeleton Crew. They better come out with another trailer or something before it comes out or something like that, because like that first one didn't really catch me.
Yeah. They actually dropped a second one this week, actually, from yesterday or something like that. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to see it. So they did drop.
Did they drop that Superman trailer?
No, this week, actually, November 11th, is going to be a Mission Impossible 8 trailer coming out. I don't know about the Superman trailer. I think it's in December or something like that. I don't know.
Mission Impossible 8, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they're making it. That's the only trailer I know that's coming out this week or next week. I'm sorry, of November 11th. Yeah.
Anyway, so Wonder Woman, sir.
Yes.
DC Comics, Wonder Woman, sir. Back to DC. Good old DC.
Yes.
Can't go wrong with DC. Can't go wrong with Wonder Woman 2017. So, Wonder Woman 2017. It's not obviously called Wonder Woman 2017. It's called Wonder Woman. Is a superhero film based on the DC Comics character of the same name, produced by Warner Brothers Pictures, DC Films, and a slew of other people and other companies, distributed by Warner Brothers, and was the 4th installment of the DC Extended Universe. It was directed by Patty Jenkins and story by Zack Snyder and Alan Heinberg and Jason Fuchs. And it starred Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Robin Wright, Danny Houston, David DeLuis, Kylie Nielsen, and Alana Anaea. Did $124 million in the box office off $149 million budget, which is pretty impressive in 2017. Close to $1 billion. What are you guys' general thoughts on Wonder Woman, Cyber?
My general thoughts on it are pretty basic. It's an okay movie. It has a lot of good, a lot of boring, And overall, I think it's a decent film. There's definitely things I would have changed, but overall, I thought that it got across the point of, who Wonder Woman, kind of like her origin. And, it gave us some good action and some good characters. But overall, was it my absolute favorite? No. I definitely came out of the theaters with some different thoughts, on it, going, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like Marvel level for me at that time. It wasn't like, Ant-Man or Avengers 1 or 2 or anything like that. It was just kind of like, okay, it's not bad, not bad. So overall, I'd have to, say that I think it was okay.
That's interesting that you said it like that, because that's when there still was that rivalry at that point, with DC films and Marvel films. That was interesting at that point, but you don't really have that right now, unfortunately, just because of Marvel's drop off, and then the dip with with DC, with Gunn taking over. So what do you think, Andre, as a pop culture guy? What are your general thoughts on Wonder Woman?
Anyway, I'm the opposite with Cyber. I really like this film. I think it's a really great superhero film. I mean, for a first time for Wonder Woman, I think this was a really great old-fashioned summer superhero blockbuster film, and I really enjoy it. I mean, this was what DC need at the time, because you brought up the rivalry. The thing was, DC at the time were trying to do this shared universe thing, and so far, whatever your opinion on Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, or Suicide Squad, they had not reached the critical or commercial success like the Dark Knight trilogy that Warner Bros. Were trying to do, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe and their critical success, at that point. So when Wonder Woman came out 2017, it was, a breath of fresh air for DC, the first critical successful film for DC. And I think Patty Jenkins and the team did a really good job of telling Wonder Woman's origin story. I thought it was well handled. I thought the cast was really great. I thought that, I think Gal Gadot did such a good job as being Diane. I thought her chemistry with Chris Pine was really great. I think those two became really a great superhero couple. I thought they were the best. And Chris Pine, I like him. He's an amazing actor. I thought he was really great here. But, I have my problems with the film. I think the villain plot is where the film kind of falls apart. It's the weakest part of the film, but we'll get into that. That's where I prefer the 2009 Wonder Woman movie that we discussed, the animation film. I thought the villain plot there was so much better than this movie. But overall, I really love this movie. I cherish it very well, and I think it's one of the best superhero origin story films that we had recently. But not the top, but I think it's up there.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. In terms of DC fare, this is one of the best DC films I think probably ever made. Definitely very entertaining. And Gal Gadot was really well cast as Wonder Woman. I never saw Wonder Woman 1984. I don't want to see it. But it's hard for me to believe that Gal Gadot was bad as Wonder Woman in that. Because she was good in the Snyder Cut that you still haven't watched, Andre, as pop culture guy.
Don't bring me into.
You never watched the Snyder Cut, sir. Cyber watched the Snyder Cut. You didn't watch it.
Oh my god! All right, I will this week, and you can get off my back. How about that? That'll be early Christmas present.
Oh, this week you're gonna watch all 4 hours of the Snyder Cut?
Yes, I will. just for the purpose of I see it. That's it. It's good. I'm out of here.
You're supposed to be Mr. DC, so I don't understand why you haven't watched the Snyder Cut yet.
Look, I like Zack Snyder. I think he's a good, decent director. But I have my point of view of what these characters should be. But I disagree the way he does it. But anyway, that's not.
with all your 3 movie watching at the same time
Oh.
type shit and all that. I'm just shocked that you haven't sat down and watched Snyder Cut.
Excuse me. I was trying to watch. It wasn't 3 movies at a time. It was like one at a time. One movie, I was done with that, and then I done with that movie, and then after that, I did that. So that was it.
Well, we're doing your favorite eventually. We're doing Justice League, the shitty version for you. So, all right.
No.
So,
Fuck that.
in present day Paris, Diana Prince receives a photographic plate from Wayne Enterprises of herself and 4 men taken during World War I, prompting her to recall her past. Diana, the daughter of Queen Hippolyta, is raised on the hidden island of Themyscira, home to the Amazons, women warriors created by the Olympian gods to protect mankind. Hippolyta tells Diane the story of how Ares becomes jealous of humanity and orchestrated its destruction. When the other gods attempted to stop him, Ares killed all but Zeus, who used the last of his power to wound him and force his retreat. Before dying, Zeus left the Amazons a weapon, the god killer, to prepare them for Ares' return. Hippolyta reluctantly agrees to let her sister, Antiope, train Diana as a warrior. Antiope or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce her name. So what do you guys think, Andre's pop culture guy, about the opening of the film with the Olympian Norse stuff and all that crap, and then Themyscira and all that?
Yeah. So the beginning was really good. It gave us very good information about the world of Wonder Woman, right? If you haven't read the comics or seen the cartoons or whatnot, it gets everything there right in those like first 15 or 20 minutes of the beginning. And I liked how at the beginning we kind of pay off a little bit of the picture that like tying into Batman v Superman. That was really neat. Yeah, I think it was well done. Like, seeing the mom and then the aunt in full force was really great. Very important to the Wonder Woman comics and the stuff I seen. Yeah, and it was really. I think this is where I felt kind of confident because the storytelling was so much more focused than the previous DC films. I thought that Penny Jenkins and the team did a really good job of visualizing Paradise Lost. I will call that because it's really hard to say the other name for this island. Such breathtaking. I mean, they shot this in, I think, Italy or something like that. That was the location for this island. Very, beautiful, and I just thought it was just perfect place to shoot for Paradise Island. And yeah, and I thought the little kid that played Diane was really fun, and she was very joyful. It was great when she mistakenly named the sword the God Killer, because that wasn't the name that it was given. It was funny that she was the one that gave the sword the name the God Killer, which was really cool. And I like how she kept thinking about that name when she was even older. Yeah, and I like it was really cool how that like story that the mom gave to Diane about the war of Ares, and I really love that because that was it reminded you of like the Renaissance paintings like coming to life for real, and I really enjoyed that type of storytelling. Last thing to wrap up, the other young Diane Prince, I forgot, she's actually the Game of Thrones actress that plays the young Alice in season 1. She plays the secondary young Diane when she gets trained by the aunt to like get ready for for Ares and all that. So overall, I thought this beginning was really good. It was focused. The storytelling was on point. It gave you everything you need to know about Wonder Woman and her like universe, like very well. And I think they did it successfully.
I think that Themyscira HBO show comes out in 2025.
It's coming out. It's in development, but I don't think they didn't give a release date. I don't think. I need to check that again.
Well, Lanterns is coming out in 2025.
Yeah. That is gonna come out, and Supergirl is coming out in 2026 as well. So that's like confirmed as well. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious where that Wonder Woman spinoff is gonna land. But
Cyber, what do you think about the opening of the film?
The opening of the film is, to me, very boring. I just felt that it could have started off a lot better. I thought the whole stuff with her as a kid, I could have done without. I didn't think it was anything that great. I mean, of course, Connie Nielsen playing her mother, and then Robin Wright playing her aunt was interesting. When you were trying to say hippopotamus, word there, I was thinking to myself, he probably would like Connie Nielsen to hip and hop to him. And so, I mean, those crazy Greek names, sometimes you're just kind of like, ooh, how do I say them? But overall, I think the beginning of the film, the film really doesn't get exciting for me until a certain point. And this beginning part to me, was kind of the lackluster of the film. I just didn't really care for it. I thought we could have not have so much on this island. I mean, I think they could have gone through it a little faster and not play so much out there. Especially, after kind of having a lot of, in the animated films and stuff like that, we've seen quite a bit about that Paradise Lost, as Mr. Andre is called. And so I feel like they could have done without a lot of that beginning intro. They could have gotten into it faster and gave more to certain other extents and parties of the film. So I definitely feel this part, the beginning part for me, is pretty boring, and I just didn't care too much for it.
Okay. So, oh my God. I don't even like that one. That actually kind of scared me. In 1918, Diana rescues U.S. pilot Captain Steve Trevor when his plane crashes off the Themysciran coast. The island is soon invaded by German soldiers who had been pursuing him. The Amazons wipe out the Germans' landing force, with Antipe sacrificing herself to save Diana. Steve is interrogated with the lasso of Hestia and reveals that a great war is consuming the outside world and that he is an Allied spy. He has stolen a notebook from the Germans' chief chemist, Dr. Isabelle Moreau, who is attempting to engineer a deadlier form of mustard gas under the orders of General Erich Ludendorff. Believing Ares to be responsible for the war, Diana arms herself with the God-Killer sword, the lasso, and armor before leaving Themyscira with Steve. So, Cyber, what do you think about the introduction of Chris Pine into the film and the Wonder Woman leaving Themyscira to head off to fight in World War I?
All right, so this is when the film really starts to get fun. The introduction of Chris Pine as Steve. And I absolutely love Chris Pine in this film. I think he's fantastic. He cracks me up. He was perfect as his character. And just there's something about Chris Pine that you just find, like, I don't know, entertaining. He's just very entertaining. So when he popped up to the scene crashing and she goes saves him, and all of a sudden there's these Germans coming after him, I was like, what? I'm like, ooh, there's the action. This is when it's going to start getting good. And, of course, we have that battle on the beach there. And Chris Pine, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, their fighting sequences were done well, but there's definitely some of those scenes where, like, Connie Nielsen's character is fighting and when Robin Wright is fighting that are just so over the top. It just cracked me up. And are just like, I was like watching it in theaters. I remember watching theaters going, what the fuck did I just watch? I'm like, what kind of action stunts is that? Who is the stunt coordinator of this film? Please, can I don't have them do any more DC films. Because I mean, that was just like so horribly done. I mean, I thought I was watching a 70s TV show like Bionic Woman or the original Wonder Woman film. I was just like, what the hell was this? So, but once that fight gets over, which I thought, still was a good, decent battle sequence, you know. And then of course the whole lasso of truth thing was absolutely freaking hilarious when he's trying to lie, but it won't let him lie. I absolutely love that. And he's like, basically tells them everything. And he's just like, he's like, what? He's like, what is this thing? You're just kind of cracking up going, that's absolutely awesome. And then the whole scene where he's bathing in the water and he's just like, freaking awesome. Like, freaking Chris Pine made this movie. Now, don't get me wrong. Gal Gadot, you know, when she finally pops up to the picture as an adult Wonder Woman, she's good. She's decent. She does get a little obnoxious at times. Just her voice gets kind of on your nerves a little bit. But overall, I think this sequence, she does a pretty decent job. And I think the scene with her and Steve in the bathroom or whatever you want to call that place is really funny. And all the questions she keeps asking him, and you're just kind of like, you can see Steve going, well, you don't know what a watch is? I'm above average. And he keeps thinking she's talking about his dog, and you're like, no, she's not talking about that. She's talking about, are you just an average man? I think, but you know, you could think that, Chris. But it was kind of that whole sequence is just so freaking funny, and cracks you up, and all the questions he asks and stuff like that, and then basically them finally deciding we're just going to go towards World War I. Because I have to help fight Ares, you know, type of deal. And the whole concept of talking about Ares, I really enjoyed that. Like, I love mythology. I love Greek mythology. And I enjoy a lot of it. And, like, Ares has always been a really awesome character that's always been fun to talk about and just hear about. God of War, you know. And in the God of War games, he's just freaking amazing to watch him battle because that was just so much fun. So I think that is an interesting part about the film that I think is the best part of the Greek mythology aspect of this. And I think that, you know, this whole section is really, like I said, when the movie starts getting going and starts getting really good. And I really enjoy this section, and it helps me get into the film.
Andres.
Yeah. So this part is where the movie picks up. You know, having Steve Trevor landing into, Paradise Island here, and you know this part I remember specifically. You know, from the 70s show as I brought up, and it's beat to beat that, but you know differently, of course. And yeah, I really enjoy Robin Wright and Connie Nelson's roles here. I was very disappointed that we killed off Wright's character. I thought you could have done more with her, but it did serve a purpose to, you know, moving Wonder Woman into like going out there in the world and go to World War One. The action here, yeah, I do agree with Cyber. You know, the action here is like so over the top. Like, you know, like I mean, look, you don't have to be history accurate about how these warriors fight. You know, in time periods. You know, this felt like a very Zack Snyder fighting skill that you see either 300 or, you know, Watchmen, his version of Watchmen. You know, it you know, it does take you out, but I do enjoy some of the action here. Sometimes it gets a little too annoying. It becomes too much like a video game for me, and that part I do agree with Cyber with that. But yeah, I you know, when Chris Pine comes in, he's so great. I mean, I always like him. He's a great actor. He's a great choice for James T. Kirk. I thought he was a great choice for Steve Trevor. I think the way he handled himself being controlled by the lasso of truth was so awesome. I mean, because he's trying to resist it. It was so funny. But he also did a really good job of being dramatic as well. And that thing about the end of all wars, you know, that was really neat. I think, you know, if you did have a great director like Patty Jenkins, I think Gal Gadot could have been really bad. And, you know, this movie, she's somewhat decent, but there's some moments where it just come off a little wooden. You know, the part that is really weak is when she's talking to her mom about taking Steve back to like deliver the notes from Dr. Poison, another major Wonder Woman villain that I didn't know that was another villain from the comic book, so that was really cool. And I really like the flashback on Steve being the spy and interesting, the general that's played by Danny Houston, and of course Dr. Poison, who's another major Wonder Woman villain that I was happy they pull in. So this section was just really fun, very action packed, which is great. I like that we right away got some action, which is great because sometimes with these superhero films, like the Marvel Cinematic films, it's like it takes about 40 or I don't know 30 minutes to get even action, depending what kind of movie we get. So this was really great to get right away action. Spectacular, yes, over the top, but hey, they're doing it for fun. So yeah, I really enjoy it. And wrapping up this, it's I thought the mother saying goodbye to her to Wonder Woman was a really great dramatic scene, and I thought it was a good way to end the part of the Paradise Lost. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this section. But yeah, has some good points.
Okay, well, I have the trailer. Well, one of the trailers right here, so I'm going to play it. Okay, so in London, they deliver Maru's notebook to the Supreme War Council, where Sir Patrick Morgan is trying to negotiate an armistice with Germany. Diana translates Maru's notes, revealing that the Germans plan to release the deadly gas at the Western Front. Although forbidden by his commander to act, Steve, with secret funding from Morgan, recruits Moroccan spy Samir, Scottish marksman Charlie, and Native American smuggler Chief Napi to help prevent the gas from being released. The team reaches the front in Belgium. Diana goes alone through no man's land and destroys the enemy trench, liberating the nearby village of Veed with the aid of the Allied forces. The team briefly celebrates, taking a photograph in the village where Diana and Steve fall in love. So, Andre's a pop culture guy. What are your thoughts on that segment of the film?
Okay. All right. So this is the best part of the movie, which I'm talking about the no man's land scene. That was where I fell in love with the movie, and I thought it was one of the greatest scenes in any superhero film. I thought No Man's Land, it's something we don't get enough in these these newer superhero films, of seeing the hero saving someone or doing something very heroic, And I know it could be cheesy or not, but it could be really good. I think this scene with the No Man's Land of Wonder Woman going against the German soldiers was really spectacular, very cinematic. That's where the action was really great, well choreographed, and I just really enjoyed that sequence. And of course, and it could have been very silly how you could have passed her because no man's has gone before, and I like how Dan said I'm not gonna stand there and let these people die and suffer. So I really like this scene, and it's just so inspirational and very heroic for a superior to do that. Yeah, and then of course the London scenes are really great. We get our introduction to another Wonder Woman supporting character, Candy, played by I think who is it, Davis, who's in the Shaun of the Dead movie. I think she played one of Sean's girlfriends. She was great. She was very funny. I like Candy. She's a very funny character. I like how she explains her job decision to Wonder Woman, and and then she said, of course, Wonder Woman replies what I come from, but that's slavery, and then she's I like this person. She's really great, and we saw the trailer, her saying I'm not against violence, but we had to go find out we can use our fisticuffs to do that. That was really great. I wish we see more of her. She's like the guy in the chair kind of thing in these superhero things, but because we're in the time period, we don't have computers and all that. So the stuff we get enough of her is really fun. It's just another level of comedy we need in the film. One thing I did appreciate, something we in every traditional Wonder Woman story, we always have her in World War II. And obviously because of Captain America First Adventure came out before this movie, they changed it, and I actually like the change of World War One. that's a part of the history we don't really talk about. As I brought up about like the in-stream mythology, the lore of Ares as a god of war and all that. World War One is very interesting as well as a war that we rarely talk about, and like we always talk about World War Two so many times to death. It's like, come on, So I really appreciate that change of time period, and I think they use it to their advantage, and it really works for this film aesthetic, and they really do the good mileage of it. Of course, the women's rights, what they had during that time, like all that really worked. I thought that they really did a good job of using the time period. This is one of my favorite time period superhero films after the two X-Men prequels, X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past, and I thought this one did such a good job of using the time period. And speaking of Captain America, not only it did better with the time period, they also did a better job of using her version of Hollywood Commandos. I really like the group of soldiers that we have here with Street Trevor. I thought the guy here just give me a minute here. Candy Samir, the secret agent, Charlie, and the chief. I thought that they were a great addition. I thought they each had like a really good mini arc. I really connect to Samir, the other soldier that wanted to be an actor. I really resonate with him because he wanted to be the actor, but unfortunately he was obviously he say I'm the wrong color. You can understand what that means, and I thought that was a really good piece of that. And that the reason he's here is this is what he do, and I thought that was a good piece. And the chief as well, he's really great character. The reason he's doing this not because of profit is like what else he has to go, because he lost half the people because of Trevor and his people, and so to really get that. And of course Charlie, the sniper, you really see the effects of the war affecting these people really badly. And you see, yes, he's a skilled marksman, but he has the trauma and all that they haven't really covered. And it was really sweet to see him seeing for a while, start to see, and that was really great payoff for that. So that was really good. This section is really great. It's really awesome. The villains, seeing Dr. Poison and that General was really funny. I did laugh at the part when, Dr. Poison throws the gas, and then the General throws that one gas mask, and it's like they don't know that's I don't know what she say. It's like, oh, that one gas is not gonna help them survive, and then he replied, they don't know that, and they giggle like evil, like a very cartoony villains. It was so funny. I always laugh at that when that scene comes up. But yeah, so I think this sequence is the best part of this movie. I mean, the No Man's Land alone is the best superhero sequence that we had as a late, and I really enjoyed that.
Cyber.
So yeah, like I said before, the section before this really starts to get you going. This will get you going even more once they make it to England. And of course, we get introduced to his hilarious secretary over there, who was actually in Shaun of the Dead. She was also was in the Sabrina the Teenage Witch TV series that was on Netflix that they did a reboot of. That was with Kira Sipka, and she is a fantastic English comedian. She is absolutely hilarious. So when she popped up, I was living my full life. It was so freaking funny because she's absolutely hilarious. And, getting kind of Diane kind of acquainted to, normal life versus the island she was on is very funny. Watch her try out different dresses and stuff. That was super funny. And then we, basically end up going and, meeting some of the military brass that's a part of his group over in, London or England, I should say, that he's a part of the British intelligence. And, basically kind of gets shot down at first and, basically is going to still go and do this thing himself anyways, because, He feels this is the right thing to do. He even puts on the lasso of truth to, say that he's not lying to Diana, because she, of course, is very outspoken and stuff like that, which is not accustomed during World War One. For women at that time, they had just recently got their right to vote around that time, suffragettes and all that kind of stuff. So the men still were getting used to women having as much freedom as they had at that time. So he, I love how Steve kept trying, like, oh, sorry, sir, and trying to get her out of there. It was super funny. And, then we go to recruit our little crew that we're going to get. And we're introduced to some great guys. Absolutely love the crew. The one gentleman there with the very strong accent, the Irish accent, he actually was in the film The Rundown with The Rock and Sean William Scott in 2003. I forget what this guy's name is, but he's been in a whole bunch of things. He was in AVP. He's been in a whole bunch of things, and I absolutely love that guy. So when I saw that he was in this, I was like, this is awesome. He's a perfect person for that crew. And then the other gentleman, the more suave, sophisticated Frenchman, he is fantastic too. I absolutely love him as an actor. I've seen him in a few other things too. He was in G.I. Joe, Rise of the Cobra, and he was a great part of that crew too. Absolutely love that he was a part of it. He's a great choice too as well. And kind of their camaraderie through this section of the film is really fun, and kind of how they get going and stuff like that. Very funny, very comical. Some action sequences going on. But I think ultimately the best scene in this section is when they get out to the front over to fight Germany, and Diana gets up and starts walking into the fire. That scene right there was, I think, her best scene for Gal Gadot, because she just looked so kick-ass in that scene. It was so fun, and just really worked really well. And I absolutely enjoyed it, and they did a really good job. And I just really loved that whole sequence, because it was like very just cool, and I don't know, she just looked really badass doing it. And I think that Gal Gadot did a great job of making that look that good too as well, because you could have just got on there, kind of walked, or stuff like that, do pretty basic stuff. And I think that she running into it and starts beaming off the bullets and stuff like that after the Germans start shooting at her was just so cool. And I thought that was my favorite moment of this whole entire section. It just was so cool. And like I said, I think Gal Gadot's best scene as Wonder Woman. Great section. Keeps you going, keeps you interested. Leading into the romance with Steve and Wonder Woman herself. It's an interesting camaraderie that how they fall in love, and it's just a really great kind of little love story there, intertwined into this whole episodic origin story.
Okay, so where we pick up, the team learns that a gala will be held at the nearby German high command. Steve and Diana separately infiltrate the party. He intends to locate the gas and destroy it, and she hopes to kill Ludendorff, believing that he is Ares. Steve stops her to avoid jeopardizing his mission, but this allows Ludendorff to unleash the gas on Veed, killing its inhabitants. Blaming Steve for intervening, Diana pursues Ludendorff to a base where the gas is being loaded into a bomber aircraft bound for London. Diana fights and kills him, but is confused and disillusioned when his death does not stop the war. So I'll stop there. What do you think, Andres, the pop culture guy?
Yeah, so we're getting into somewhat the third act here. I thought this was really again fun parts here. Seeing our crew here to infiltrate this party that the general is putting out for the this new gas weapon they have from Dr. Poison. We get the really funny scene where Chris Pine is pretending to be a general, and then you got the the soldier that's wanted to be actor here, he's like very excited, like, oh god, I want to be a chauffeur, I can act, and it was really cool, like like how he like disposable, like, oh, it's on my fault, I lost the invitation, and like the guy that's guarding the gate is like, okay, go go go, like whatever, the invitation. That was really funny. And then it was even funnier when Diana's trying to get into the castle. She sees this random lady with the blue dress, and then it was so funny. He's like, it's like she's checking, like, could this dress could fit her, and it just implies that she steals that dress from that lady. That is so funny. It's like, and the lady's like, "What you doing?" And I just like that, like, edit there. It's like, oh, and yeah, and of course, we see the gas. They, of course, through the gas to the village that Wonder Woman rescued, from the no man's land, and it's really sad that you can see how Wonder Woman, she's a very naive person, that doesn't understand what's going on with the man's world, and so you see, like, she thinks the Ares is probably controlling this, and it's like controlling Steve, and it's not really true. But yeah, and then when the chief sends the signal, with the blue stuff, she goes over there and of course sees the general, and she fights him. One thing that I have a nitpick is like what is this thing? He's like snort, like he just snorts like cocaine. Like, is it like a god, like, super enhanced pill or something like that to give him super strength? Like, we never get any explanation with that. Maybe Ares gave him that, whatever. So it was a decent fight. Very over the top. But then when he kills her, kills him. Sorry, kills him. It's nothing happens, and I really like the aftermath where Steve is telling her that every man is not perfect. What's going on is this is us. We're a whole lot of mess, and that's why the war is still continuing. So I really thought that conversation, and yeah, I really thought that. Very excited to talk about the final act, because I know a lot of people have mixed feelings for the final act.
Cyber, what do you think about that segment, sir?
So this segment is kind of gets a little slower again. Not much is going on. I feel that we get kind of a little more information of kind of where things are at. As Andres just mentioned, the whole gas thing, and I think that scene is very interesting. Probably the more interesting portion of this segment of what we're talking about. And I mean, mustard gas and all those gases that they ended up using during World War I and II and stuff like that, and that they still use, to this day. Those things are crazy. They're very interesting. So the thought process of bringing in that they made this like totally new version of of these one of these gases with hydrogen was just a cool thing, and that totally made me think of Hydra a little bit too by making a hydrogen. It totally. I remember watching in theaters and going hydrogen, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that totally makes me think of Hydra for some reason. I don't know why, but I think it's because they said hydrogen, but totally feels like that I'm sure Hydra and several other DC characters and Marvel characters, a lot of them have a lot of similarities, because a lot of times the comic book people would take ideas from the other person to create new characters. So it wouldn't be surprising if that, like in the comics, if that was like a thing, hydrogen smoke thing or something for Wonder Woman or whatever, was definitely something that was similar to Hydra. So I think that's kind of interesting. But overall, I think this section, it just, once again, it kind of builds up to get you to that climatic ending that, as Andreas was mentioning. And I just feel like this sequence is kind of similar to the beginning for me. It's a little slower, not as much action and stuff going on. Just kind of a lot of kind of tying off loose ends of characters and stuff like that. And it is definitely not horrible, but not one of my favorite sections of the film.
Okay. So essentially, Sir Patrick appears and reveals himself to be Ares. He tells Diana that although he has suddenly given humans ideas and inspirations, it is ultimately their decision to resort to violence, as they are inherently corrupt. When Diana attempts to kill Ares with the God Killer sword, he destroys it before revealing to Diana that she is the God Killer, since she is the daughter of Zeus. While the two battle, Steve's team destroys Maru's laboratory. Steve hijacks and pilots the bomber carrying the poison to a safe altitude and detonates it, blowing up the plane and himself. Ares attempts to direct Diana's rage and grief at Steve's death by convincing her to kill Maru, but the memories of her experiences with Steve cause her to realize that humans have goodness within them. She spares Maru and redirects Ares' lightning into him, definitively killing him. Later, the team celebrates the end of the war. In present day, Diana sends an email to Bruce Wayne thanking him for the photogenic plate of her and Steve. She continues to fight on the world's behalf as Wonder Woman. So, Cyber, what are your thoughts, sir, on the final act of the film?
Now, I really enjoyed the end of the film. I love finding out David Luiz was Ares this whole time. I think their battle sequences is pretty decent. I enjoyed it. It got me back into the film. Even the little bit of the battle that, Diana has with the German guy there, that was kind of lackluster, I felt. But once we got to, David Luiz and her kind of fighting, I thought it was pretty decent. I liked, what he brought to the table and kind of the powers he used of Ares and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. And, we get a very kind of emotional ending here, with Steve sacrificing himself, which I thought that was fucking stupid as hell. I was like, really? You bring in a great character and you kill him off? And I'm like, God damn it. Why are you doing this to me? You give me this awesome character, then you kill it off. And, so like when he sacrifices himself, I was just kind of like, oh, man. And he's sitting there watching it going, why? And, but then when it goes back and, basically Ares is trying to like convince Diana that all humans are evil. It's just your typical bad guy talking to convince the good guy to be bad type of deal. And I think that their battle is really decent. I really enjoyed it. I thought the visual effects during that sequence was done really well. I think that's kind of where they put all their money into the visual effects throughout this film. And, the whole, all the things ripping up and being blown away and stuff like that were really cool. And, Diana kind of moving through it and fighting through it and stuff like that, remembering Steve and realizing that there is good in humans, which is really awesome. And, and her, defeating Ares is really awesome. And, basically then we go back to, present day after everyone's, celebrating for stopping World War I. And, that whole kind of tying it into the current DCU at the time, having her thanking, Bruce for the photo and stuff like that, remembering her, kind of her origin story coming to present day as a archaeologist or archaeologist or a curator, whatever she's supposed to be. And, is kind of a bittersweet ending because now, Steve's dead. She's been pining for him for the last almost 100 years and, or over 100 years because, World War I, ended in 1917?
Yeah.
17. So it was like 100 years. By the time that movie came out, anyways, which was kind of funny. This film was actually filmed in 2015, and then they did reshoots in 2016 while Godot was pregnant. So they had to put one of those green screen things over his stomach to take it out post production. But yeah, I thought that the conclusion of the film was decent. It was a really good, solid ending, and it was just a really kind of badass fight between Ares and her. Really fun. really decently done, and overall, I think the better section of the film.
Okay, Andre's pop culture guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the third and final act. There's things I like about it. There's some things I don't like about it. First up, the Ares thing. I think Ares is a great villain for Wonder Woman. I think the idea of like is Ares real or not conversation that this movie was kind of setting up was really interesting. I thought that it just didn't pay off the well. I didn't pay off I think what the creators wanted. I know that Jenkins say that this whole bombastic ending with Ares versus Wonder Woman was like a studio thing. I kind of get that. There's things I like about the battle. I just kind of wish that the costume for Ares was much more cooler. I like the idea he formed in those like wreckage metal that they were like Diane was throwing at him during that battle. But I don't know. I think it could have been nice that he kind of just transformed his like more traditional like Ares comic book thing, or the one that we saw in the storytelling in the beginning of the film when she was a kid. David Lewis, he's a great actor. I just think we didn't spend enough time for him to be the villain. So I feel like his presence wasn't enough to make him this big bad. I feel like, but I think the battle is really great. I mean, the special effects is really good. I love every time Wonder Woman uses the lasso as a weapon. It's really cool. Like it's like literally like a spider web for her. I disagree with you, Cyber. I really like Death of Steve Trevor. I thought this was a better kind of send off compared to like let me use Captain America First Adventure again, like Bucky, when how Bucky got out, how he went out from that movie was kind of silly, or the way Steve Rogers was put in ice. I thought that was so contrived on how he had to put in ice, because we all know that Captain America has to be in ice. Here, I really appreciate that the way the Steve Trevor had to be not alive is that he died, and I like the way he died here by sacrificing and trying to save the whole the whole world by this bonnet. I thought it was all well staged. I thought that part really made the climax for me to be at least enjoyable, while we have this like bombastic superhero fight between her and Ares. So I think that really helped ground the film a bit better. Yeah, and after that, we got these very very dramatic speeches from Ares. His very evil monologue speeches about the world is ugly and all that. It's very true. And yeah, I like how Wonder Woman beat him. Just absorbing his electricity and do. And I was so happy that this was a great moment in the theater. Just seeing her fly was really good, because sometimes these writers don't know either to make Wonder Woman to fly or not. So I really appreciate that they made her fly here and do the the cross of the arms there and kill Ares there. That was a great moment. And I'd really like the going back to the present day to really pay off the picture here from Batman v Superman. I thought that was a really great narrative connection for the film, and like the setup and payoff. So I really dug this. Look, every superhero film doesn't have a great third act. It's sometimes weak, or it's fun, but story wise it doesn't make sense sometimes. It's very contrived. But look, if you enjoy it and have fun, like that's what you get from this movie. I think the third act is really fun, and great action is really amazing. It has emotional beats, which is good, very dramatic stuff. So I think it's a good finale, a decent one. So yeah, I think this part was really a good send off to this film.
All right, well, give me your rating on it, Andres. I'm going to give the film an 8. What do you got?
Okay, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I think this is a great superhero film. I seen the sequel. It's not good. So very sad they cannot. I mean, it was going to be tough for them to make this first film, the sequel, to be good as the first film. 9 out of 10 for me. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, sir. Cyber, your rating?
Cyber was so silent. I was like, "Here goes, Cyber. You go." After my and he's like, he's drinking his like beer or something.
It's water.
Oh, water.
Anyways, I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it has some great parts. I give a 7 simply for Chris Pine. And it has some great moments. It has some dull moments. And overall, I think it's worth a 7.
Okay. Well, there we go. That is Wonder Woman 2017. That's our review. We have knocked it out. It is over. So let's plug out of here. And we'll call it a night here on 11/1/2024, Friday. The weekend. Andre the Pop Culture Guy, sir. What kind of content are you making these days? What's going on?
Well, I just finished up my Halloween stuff content. So yesterday I put out the 40th anniversary for Friday the 13th final chapter. I also post in my shorts the Halloween parade. I went to New York with my mom, and I took the chance to do shorts on the parade I saw. It was really fun. You can check it there. I did 12, so that's really good. So check them out. It was really fun. I also ate pizza afterwards in the parade. So it was a fun Halloween yesterday. It was really great. I met me and my wife, Angela Bassett, was there too. What? Fuck you, Cyber. I know it was you. Anyway, he's jealous. I got a great wife that supports me, who wants to take over the world like me. So that's it. So, and I recently did a recap episode 6 on all the shows I'm doing for my live stream last Wednesday. So you can check that out. And yeah, so just remember, it's going to be big enough. Our next 2 live stream movie reviews is going to be Concealing with L, Half Baked, as I discuss these gentlemen after the Heather's live stream review. So that's going to be that. I'm still going to do the pop culture recap. I'm going to reformat pop culture recap a little bit, so you can check on that. So yeah, a lot to go for November, which is crazy to start.
Cyber.
Well, hello, everyone. So, how can you follow Andre the Pop Culture Guy? Anyways, so if you enjoy me here on the panel, or you enjoy me as a moderator, you can definitely check out my solo content. You can find me under Cyberneticshark. Find me on YouTube, TikTok, Threads, X, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon. Find me in all those places. As you can see there, my most recent review was the Wild Robot. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend check it out. And Transformer 1 review there. If you have not seen that, definitely check that out as well. I'll be having some more reviews up for you guys soon, along with hopefully some more trailer reactions. Most definitely, like I said, check those out. My recent shorts, of course, are Wonder Woman 2017, along with Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, and Satan's Little Helper. A few different little horror ones there for you guys. If you haven't seen these films, check out those little mini shorts of them. Give you quite a good little talking there about them. But yeah, I'll be having more stuff. This month, we'll be doing my very first live stream as well. Working on that, figuring out exactly when to do it. So keep your eyes out for doing a live stream for my channel. We'll be doing a new thing, be starting my new series, which will be called Cybernetic Movie Theater 3000. And keep your eyes out for that. It'll be coming soon, guys. Can't wait to do it. And keep on tracking, keep on subscribing, keep on watching, and keep on making us get higher and higher.
And we'll see you on Monday for the Penguin and the finale of Daryl Dixon on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge report with Andre's the Pop Culture Guy, and Cyber will be there. And that will be, 11/4, 2024.
Yes. Yeah. Monday, 11/4. Yeah.
And then we got the finale of Agatha that I haven't watched yet next week, too. So everybody have a great weekend. God bless everybody. And we'll see everybody later. Peace.